How's it going, everyone? Um, Forgive me for the terrible quality of camera on my laptop. It literally looks like 2005 or something, but I can't make it any better for whatever reason. Um, it is what it is, though. So, I was gonna make a video about the Mandela effect today, about a newer one. However, something more important came up. And about the Mandela effect, I'll be discussing that on Emily Moyer's show next week. So, probably my fourth time on that show, and I'm excited because she's great, and a lot of you guys came over there from from there to here. Sorry, I'm still kind of out of it. Let me just. All right, so I saw the movie Don't Look Up, and a little bit of a spoiler alert if you do want to see it. I will be giving away some details. So basically, it was a really good movie, and it was a really deep movie because it really raised a lot of questions as to what is valuable, what is what gives us meaning, how should we be spending our time? How should our relationships be like? It raises all of these very important questions. And there are some freaky elements to it as well. One thing I don't notice many people talking about in that is that there was a scene in the movie where there was a magazine cover that they got uncomfortably close to, and for an uncomfortably long period of time, it was a burning football out in space in the form of an asteroid coming onto Earth, and it said a caption that said the next Super Bowl. Why is that weird? Well, because it has nothing to do with anything that ever happened in the movie. There was nothing related to football. There were some references to sports in general, but it wasn't in any way, shape, or form important to the movie. So I thought that that was really random and odd. Um, I think that's my cat. And I'm not saying that a planet killer is coming on Valentine's Day, not at all. But it is a key watch time frame for me, as I've mentioned many times already. After the Chinese New Year and the Beijing Olympics, and Valentine's Day is just a day after the Super Bowl, which is one of three key dates for this entire year being Valentine's Day. Um, so I thought that that was interesting that it was just thrown in there in the movie, like out of nowhere. And basically, the movie starts off with Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio. Very great cast in this movie. We had Ron Perlman, one of my favorites. Meryl Streep, one of my favorites too. And they all did an excellent job. And then there was this billionaire character that kind of reminded me of Steve Jobs. Dressed like him, talked like him, had these same sort of apps like him that hypnotized people. And there was a lot of references to social media in general in the movie. I'll get into in a sec. But yeah, these two characters, Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, discover a comet. And the trajectory of this comet is headed directly towards Earth with a 99.7% chance of impact. So they go to Washington, D.C. to try to speak to the president, um, to take this seriously. And this is where like the common theme of the movie starts, was that they didn't take it seriously. All they were concerned about is superficial, surface level garbage. Um, what their rating. So it was like campaign season, and her primary concern was her voter base rather than the safety of the entire planet. So She just said to wait it out. And so, frustrated, they go and they speak to the media, to a newspaper. And it was the same sort of idea where they were hoping for a big story that would give them big ratings rather than the impending doom that's thrust upon them within 6 months, right? Um, Speaking of 6 months, so this movie came out December 5th, and May is another key time frame to watch for. Uh, so that would bring us to 6 months. I just wanted to throw that in there. And no, I don't think a Planet Killer is headed our way. I'll get into that. But so it's the same sort of idea. Nobody watched the story. They were more concerned. The general public was more concerned with stupid celebrity gossip. Grande was in the movie. Celebrity breakups, stupid scandals, and things like that. Their story got no ratings. And so they couldn't get their message through that in 6 months, everyone's going to be dead, right? So throughout the movie, it follows along this common theme that everyone is focused on social media nonsense, superficial, materialistic garbage, surface level interactions and communications that have no deeper meaning behind them. But what was interesting is that interspersed between these ridiculous interactions that people were having, there were these beautiful scenes of nature and the world and life, which were really well in a really good way. They were interwoven with everything else. And it was a really beautiful sight to see, actually, because you can see, I think the director was trying to show just how distant, the human race as a whole, or at least modernized civilization as a whole, has deviated so far from what is natural, from what is considered to be, you know, noble, from what is considered to be ethical, all of these things. Everything, like life has become this just nonsensical parade circus of bread and circuses, right? So, and then the president gets involved in a sex scandal. And because of that, she starts taking this comment seriously because she thinks it's going to boost her ratings. So she has a plan now, right? She's going to have Ron Perlman, who's playing like this tough guy, American badass, kind of like a Rambo like character. And she's like, we're going to go up there and we're going to take the comet away from its trajectory and it's going to miss Earth, right? And so everyone's excited for this mission. Her ratings are up. Everything is going great. And so they launch the space shuttle, and it just immediately lands right back. And everyone wondered, like, what the hell's going on? Well, it turns out that the Steve Jobs character discovered trillions of dollars worth of minerals and diamonds and gold and all of these precious metals on this comet. So he's like, "Oh, we can't have that comet go away from us. We need to mine it for its resources." So he ends up um, having they end up setting up another mission in secret, right? To go break this comet apart into several pieces, so that they could mine it for resources or whatever the hell. Made no sense. But Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence again spilled the beans, and the world kind of went into chaos and a riot because of that. Because the public found out because that they're going to profit off of this comet. And Leonardo DiCaprio said something really important. Really important. He said, "What good is it to have trillions of dollars if you have no planet to live on?" And I think that is like one of the key messages of the movie. That is one of the key messages for sure. Because it is meaningless. People murdering each other over pieces of paper on a daily basis. It's all a dog and pony show in a circus, focusing on trivial garbage nonsense rather than what is meaningful and important, what actually matters in life, which is relationships, which is love, which is communication, which is growing together, which is learning, which is overcoming hardships, things like that. Instead of distracting yourself with things that don't seem to matter. That's what the theme of the movie was about. Anyway, um, the Steve Jobs character, their plans didn't work. The ships were sabotaged by the Chinese and Russians. Go figure, who else? Um, and I thought about this, like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all these people are sending all these rockets up there. And I kind of wondered to myself, is there an actual comet up there that somehow amateur astronomers have been missing? That they somehow were able to cloak or hide from the public, which might explain some weirdness in the sky. I don't know. These are all legitimate questions to ask. So my point is that their plan failed, and they were not able to retrieve the minerals from the comet. And but there was a plan B, right? Which I wouldn't be surprised one bit if the Elon Musk actually uh, do have a plan like this. Not one bit. Um, so the plan B was that they're going to escape in a giant spaceship from the Earth. So the comet ends up destroying the world, um, the surface of the world, and they leave. They leave into outer space, and they cryogenically freeze themselves for how long? This is well another thing people missed. For 22,500 years, which is exactly the cycle of the Kali Yuga. 22,500 years. But why? Because at that time, after the earth recovers and life is restored, they come back to a new earth, right? So it's all the elites. It's the richest people. It's the most powerful people that froze themselves. And they come back, and the ending was really funny. I don't, if you're still going to see it after this video, I don't want to spoil that part because that part was really funny. Well, let's just say it has to do with Meryl Streep and what happened to her. Um, hey, this wouldn't be the least bit shocking if this was real truth drop. So Adam McKay is known for making movies that are based on real events, like the Big Short, the 2008 market crashed, and he said that this movie is based on real events that haven't happened yet. Again, I am sort of a gloom and doomer, as you all know, but do I think an actual planet killer is coming? I don't know. That's probably even far fetched for to me. Probably not. But could there be something spotted in the sky? For example, in around the Super Bowl, something anomalous in the sky, or a warning? What if it's a metaphor for something else? Just a metaphor for our behavior in general. And then there's the theme that it seemed like it was around 2025, not necessarily the next Super Bowl. So if this does happen, could it be around that year? Um, all legitimate questions. I think there's some real truth drops in this though, and I do think we all know something major is coming. Whatever you believe in or don't believe in, we all know that my little channel here has every sort of belief system you can imagine. Watching me, we all know something big is coming. Is that it? I don't know. I mean, we'll find out. But then again, what if we did know? What if we did know for sure? Whether it's in February or whether it's in 2025, what if we knew 100% for sure that 100% we're all going to be dead by then? How would we live differently? What would we change about ourselves? What would we change about the way we do things? I think it would change everything. Which is why I believe these scumbag elites, if they're somehow able to hide something up there, even from, there's some amazing amateur astronomers on Reddit that I follow. If they're somehow able to hide it, or if the comet's behind the sun, I don't know. If it's possible that they are hiding something, right? They're not going to tell anybody. They're going to keep this classified until the bitter last moment. I truly believe this. And then they'll escape in their stupid spaceship and probably freeze themselves, only to come back and rule the new world, right? So that they can continue ruling this place. I don't know. All legitimate questions, but the overall theme and the overall point is that how do we spend our time? How do we spend our time wisely? You know, because we don't have much of it. Whether the damn comet comes or not, um, we don't have much of it. Period. So have a good day, guys.